Welcome to Spirit School. My name is Danielle Sarank, also known as the Squamish Medium. I am the host of your Spirit School, where I will share all the lessons and learnings that I have uncovered through my intuitive development and mediumship development journey. I am a professional psychic and medium, an intuitive teacher and mentor, and I look forward to walking alongside you on this journey. Hello, Spirit School listeners. How are you guys doing? It is currently March 15th, Sunday night, and I just felt compelled to hop on and do a podcast episode about the state of affairs around the world. How can we avoid it? As spiritual people, as spiritual seekers, we are not supposed to avoid it. We are not supposed to light wash. We are not supposed to avoid and ignore and throughout be the light everywhere. This is literally a big event that's happening around the globe. I believe it's happening for great intention and great purpose. And, it's kind of our divine free will on the outcome of all of this, on how it's going to impact us in the long term. But I feel beauty, to be honest with you. I know that sounds kind of weird because where we are in North America hasn't fully hit. We haven't fully seen the extent of what this lesson is bringing us. But I will say that anytime I feel into the energy of it, I do feel that there will be beautiful outcomes. But I'll get more into that as we go along this episode. So, what's happening? I can only speak from a North American lens. I know I have listeners all over the world, so please, I hope that some of what I say applies to where you are and what you're experiencing and going through. And first and foremost, I'd like to say, as a member of the human race in this experience, my heart, my prayers, my good wishes, and my high vibration goes out to each and every one of you, even people who do not listen to this podcast, who are not in my awareness. Receive my prayers and my best well wishes. So, what I have seen on a human level, because that's usually where I like to spend a lot of my time, I've seen a very big mixed bag of actions, of mindsets, of experiences during all of this. And it's been pretty fascinating to witness. And me, myself, I've been through the roller coaster myself. Roller coaster of fear, roller coaster of scarcity, roller coaster of emotions. But what I am really proud of is that when things got really hard for me, I think it was about Thursday night was the first night where I just kind of felt heavy. I took it to prayer. I took it to meditation. I devoted at that time. I am going to go deeper into my practice. I am going to go deeper into my devotion. And I'm going to stay tuned with the world of spirit, because this is not a time when we forget and forego our spirituality. It's times like this when we need to call upon it. There's times like this where we need to remember that we are not alone and we are not forgotten. And this has been a big message from spirit for me in this past week. Now, there's very few people in the world, you could probably say, they love uncertainty and they love scarcity and they love chaos and conflict. But this is what is being brought up right now. This is what this big shakeup is really sifting to the surface. And it's a fascinating thing to experience because, I don't have a lack mindset. I believe in abundance. I've been gifted abundance for years now, and I truly do believe in it. But when everyone else around you is panicking, it's really hard not to get sucked into it, especially nowadays when we're so connected to social media and we're so connected to one another digitally. But the truth is, now we're kind of in the state of having to be, what are they calling it? Social distancing. We're like separate. I think this is going to be a real lesson between how we want to connect with other people. I think by being forced to be apart, come summer, I saw a lot of visions of us coming together again in a much more jovial, in a much more authentic way. We didn't take it for granted that we can have barbecues with our neighbors or play dates with our friends. And I'm a mom, so I'm kind of talking about that. But play dates with my girlfriends as well. We're kind of being stripped down to basics right now, which is a beautiful thing. Like, things need to kind of crumble to be rebuilt again. And I'm not trying to put rose-colored glasses on what's happening. I'm just truly giving you guys what I have been experiencing and what has been revealed to me, because I feel like a little bit of hope can't hurt. And I do feel like Spirit was really kind of calling me up to be a leader of positivity and a leader in the situation. And I pivoted the other day. I told you about Thursday. I had a really kind of heavy day. The energy was really intense. And then I just pivoted Friday. Come Friday, I said, you know what? I'm not scared. I'm not scared because I know we're all going to be okay. So I'm going to choose to step out of fear and show up as a leader here and be a voice of reason and be a voice of hope for anyone who needs to listen to it. So just know that I'm coming from that perspective and I'm coming from that lens. So we see people, hoarding in the stores. We see people, when we're supposed to be social distancing, running and flocking in herds to little centers like grocery stores and Costco's, because scarcity sets in. And when we let fear drive us, we kind of lose our connection with ourselves, and we lose connection and sight into what really matters. Does that 25-pound bag of potatoes, is it at the risk of bringing something home to your family, which is truly what matters to you? There's a lot of opportunity here when we see this. This is where, the light workers rise to the top. We will find ourselves slipping back into the scarcity mode with the rest of our counterparts in this world. But if we do, we need to forgive ourselves and brush it off and rise back up again. We have to. There is so much that we can figure out here. Instead of sacrificing our own health to rush to the grocery store to get food, we can ask our neighbor at the same time. We can ask somebody on our street who may be immune compromised or elderly, saying, do you need anything while I'm out? Do you need anything? Are you stuck for anything? Are you lacking anything? How can I help you? Because I'm telling you now, the antidote for fear and scarcity is service. And that is without a doubt. You want to pick yourself up out of a scarcity mindset or this fear that's coming upon us. And I'm not even blaming the media. I'm not. You won't hear me say that. I'm literally saying, as humans, we have divine free will to choose how we want to carry ourselves through every situation in our life. And the days are gone. This is what this is showing us. The days are gone that we are going to give up our power to the system, to the powers that be. Right? We have a situation here in town where things are not shutting down. Things are not moving fast enough. Nothing's being reported. Well, look, we're not stupid. Things are being shared. We know people who know people. We see truths being posted online by people who are being authentic, risking their own private identity to make sure that the public knows. This is a sign that we need to stop giving our power to our elected representatives. We need to stop giving our power to the TV, to the news, to, bullshit on social media. We're light workers, people. We can sift through shit just through our gut, just through tuning into our body. And we can't tune into our bodies and our intuition if we're in a place of fear. So how do you get out of fear? You serve. You literally step out of yourself for a minute and you ask somebody else, how can I support you? How can I serve you? What do you need? And if there's nobody looking for anything, hop on social media and pivot. Change the conversation. Ask Spirit to show you this from a higher perspective. How can I bring a message of hope to people who are feeling hopeless right now? And hop on and be inspired and take action. Take inspired action from the energy of Spirit. They are here. They are closer than ever. And if we can slow down for a moment, rededicate ourselves to our spirituality, to our growth, not get caught up in the chaos, but see the chaos as an opportunity to stand out as a leader, to stand out as somebody who has a message of hope. Spirit will work through you, and they are willing and able and keen to work through you. But you got to slow down. You got to get out of that fear mindset. There's no way around that. It's time to step up and be a leader. Every single one of us, every single person who's listening. And we don't have to be a leader on social media. I got kids in this house. We're talking very openly about what's happening in the world because they want to have play dates and they want to go swimming and they want to go ice skating. So we can't light wash for our children who are the ultimate BS detectors. We can't sweep this under the rug and we can't put rainbows and butterflies on it, but we can step up as a leader and tell our children, there's something happening around the world. It's affecting every country. It's affecting every race. And together as a race, we will overcome this and we will be more connected and more aware at the end of this. But for the time being, we're just being asked to stay at home. So how can I serve you? How can you serve your brother? What can we do to make this the best possible, most enjoyable experience that we could ever imagine? And let them take the lead. You may be called to be a leader in your family, in your community, in your social media channels, but every single one of you listening has an opportunity to step up to this challenge. So some things I was inspired to talk about, preparing for this, and I don't prepare my podcast very well, but I love doing it, and I just love being real with you guys and just going on the fly. But one thing that Spirit was really revealing to me, and it was my own Spirit revealing this to me, is that we need to start questioning things a little bit more, a little bit deeper. Again, I'm going to media, I'm going to society, I'm going to the system. We need to start questioning things. I also believe that there's going to be a whole sweep of lessons that come from this experience. There's going to be lessons just peppered throughout this experience on a global scale. We're going to see the haves and the have-nots. Anyone else thinking about all the single moms out there who can't afford to hoard food? It's a state. The other day, I had an entrepreneur friend who I haven't seen in like 6 years. In one day, every contract they had got pulled. They have no idea where they are getting their next meal from or how they're going to pay their next month's rent. So even me going into entrepreneurship only a month ago, I could easily slip into scarcity. I could easily be like, wow, are people going to want readings during this time? Right? But I still gave him some money. I still donated. I still served where I could. I wish I could come over and give you a hug right now, but instead I have an extra $100. Of course, for me, it was 111 because me and my numbers, but I gave where I could. And I did it because I would hope that if I were in the same situation, somebody would consider doing that for me. So I feel like one of the lessons that we're going to experience through all of this is going to be helping our brother and sister in this world and seeing everybody as an equal. Because the haves and the have-nots, especially when everything's said and done, the Canadian government's coming up with a stimulus package right now so that everyone can pay their rent, so that nobody misses a meal. I think we're really going to see the polarity between the haves and the have-nots. And I do believe at the higher vibration of this lesson that there will be societal changes because of this. That's my hope. That's what my heart expresses. I do believe at the higher vibration of that lesson, that is what is the potential that could happen. And I do believe it will happen. I also believe that we're going to be more connected after. I see people getting really creative, especially entrepreneurs. I see yoga studios shutting down and doing their classes virtually. Entire universities are shutting down and starting to do their classes online. Could you imagine a tuition fee for somebody who didn't have to go to a school, didn't have to pay the tuition to cover the cost of keeping up this old rickety building and everything that goes into it? And if you could learn virtually, I just can imagine how accessible that would be for some people and how the overhead costs would get cut down and tuitions might end up being a lot cheaper because of it on the higher vibration of that lesson. But only on the higher vibration of that lesson. Can you imagine the start our kids will get if they didn't have to spend $100,000 as a young adult to get ahead, which really puts them behind? That would be a big shift. Anyone guilty of overworking and kind of putting family last place? It happens. It happens in this society. We're worker bees. We're literally train from the day we enter kindergarten to enter the workforce, get that pension, collect that wage, and come home all burnt out to our family and start it all over again. Well, look what's happening. We're being forced to be at home with our families. We're being forced to not work. Workplaces are shutting down. I think there's going to be a huge shift after this experience of people finally realizing what's important in their lives and going for it. The fragility of life is literally in our face every single day. We can't ignore it anymore. So people will live more fearlessly. People will live more freely. People will yearn for connection with their family. They're going to look around their home and see how beautiful it is and how much stuff they have. And they'll be like, wow, I'm lucky. Why am I working so hard? Why am I working so hard for other people? My family gets the worst of me because I'm so tired. Why do I keep overspending and bringing more stuff into my house when I don't actually have true stock of what I have around me and how blessed I am because I have all this stuff around me? We're being forced to look at our stuff. It's exciting. I love it. Even 3 days in where I am, 3 days in, I'm seeing posts on Instagram from people saying, I'm really actually enjoying this like downtime with my family, with my kids. I know it's only been a few days, but we're literally intending to connect with our families right now. And we're going to realize all along this is all we wanted. Why else did we have a family? Anyone else really guilty of overspending? I do believe that overspending is a sign of discontentment. I believe that we're constantly trying to fill our pockets and fill our homes and fill our whatever's in front of us because we're truly discontent. We're truly discontent. I think a big lesson coming out of this is going to be realizing we actually have a lot, especially the haves. When we talk about the polarity of the haves and the have-nots, I think we're going to realize how lucky we are. I know I look around my house I'm quarantined in and self-quarantined. There's nothing wrong. Not like there's anything wrong with anything being wrong. But I'm like, man, my house is beautiful. Man, we're lucky we're all together. Man, we're lucky we have clean drinking water. We're lucky. This is a lucky experience. I'm actually opening my eyes. And I thought I was blessed before, don't get me wrong. But I'm like, man, we are lucky. We truly, truly are. There's a sense of gratitude that comes from times of despair, of times of uncertainty, if you're able to go to the higher vibration of that lesson. Notice the theme here. There's a shadow quality and a high vibrational quality to everything in life. Everything. And it's your choice. It's your divine free will. And it's really up to you to see what side you're going to look at that coin and what side you're going to embody and what side you're going to wake up and take action upon every single day. Your thoughts will either be your best friend or your worst enemy here, mindset. And again, this isn't about avoiding. This isn't about light washing. It's literally looking at what's bringing you down and ask spirit to show you from a different perspective, an eagle's perspective. What's the beauty here? What's the highest vibrational quality of this experience? Calm down, settle in. Take some breaths and calm your body, calm your nervous system. Take a look. Trust what comes through. It's really important. It's really important right now. I saw a really funny meme. As you know, I love my memes. Anyone who follows me on social media. And don't get me wrong, even the coronavirus memes were super lit for a long time. Of course, until it hits your doorstep, right? Actually, tomorrow's Monday. I don't have hardly any spiritual meme roundup Mondays because people just haven't been posting that lately. But one of the memes I saw, which was really funny, was climate control needs the same publicist that coronavirus has. And this brings me to another lesson I feel that we will be experiencing. I think that we need to make amends with our Mother Earth. I think that we are seeing the fragility of our life, but we're also being really tuned into the fragility of our home base. Earth is it, right? No planet B. All that fun stuff. I think that we really need, and I think that this will come in time. I don't think we're quite here yet, but mark my words, I think that there's going to be a much deeper connection to our Mother Earth after this experience, at the highest vibration of this lesson. Because right now, We're distracted by social media. Thank God for Wi-Fi too. Don't get me wrong. But we're not, connecting with one another. We're not going out and having wine with our friends at night. We're not keeping busy, 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 busy. The only thing we can really do in social distancing is like go for a walk, right? And I live in the mountains, so there's a lot of space up here. It's not overpopulated yet, but it's getting there, right? Another big lesson in my little town. Our infrastructure cannot handle the pace in which we are growing. And I bet you people listening can definitely resonate with that across their towns, right? The medical field, it's important to make this a very desirable industry for our littles to be interested in. You make more money as an entrepreneur than a nurse or doctor now, right? And I'm sorry, but money talks. How do we make this a desirable, path for people to take? Big lesson here, big lesson. So we see the fragility of life. We see that we could be taken out by something unseen that we don't understand, we don't know the full scope of, quite quickly and quite drastically. We're little beings on this big planet, and we have not been honoring her. We have not been taking care of her. We've been selfish. Look how easily this can all just disappear, and she can rejuvenate, and she can take a deep breath and say, well, that was a journey. What's next? We can't do that as a human race. I think this is going to really show us how, this is going to sound horrible, but how insignificant we are in the grand scheme of things. So we need to look outside ourselves. We need to look at the bigger picture. We need to look at the future generations. We're very much a generation, and the generation before us and the generation before us, going back just a few, we're just looking at filling our pockets now. We're not looking at the grand scheme of how we're going to leave this place when we go. Like, a lot of people that are in power don't think like that. They're not thinking like that. They've been wrapped up in scarcity and fear. You get to a certain income, you have so much fear of losing that income. You make judgments that are not in alignment with your soul, not in alignment with your spirit, not in alignment with your intuition. That is what's happening at these big, high systematic levels. So we need to wake up. We're waking up. And my prayer at the highest vibration of this lesson is that when this is all done and billions of us are going to make it, billions of us, that we're going to look at how insignificant we are here and that we need to take care of the bigger picture, which is our Mother Earth. I truly believe that this is a potential lesson within all of this. So who are we going to be as a race after this? And I know we've gone through this before. I know we've had SARS and HIV, swine flu. This isn't our first rodeo. I'd asked my parents that actually. I was like, have I ever lived through a pandemic? Because I don't remember. And they're like, yeah, well, there was SARS in 2003, but it wasn't this crazy. And I think SARS was like a lot worse than this, right? But again, I think that we're really awakened with the fragility of life. I think social media has definitely played a role in the chaos and the heightened awareness, should I say, compared to something like SARS, even though the internet was around, but, not to the state it is right now. We need to look at that. We need to start asking these questions. We need to lift the veil and ask the big questions. Not, do I have enough toilet paper or bread? It's, who are we going to be as a human race when this is all done? What are we supposed to learn here? What's the potential here? What's the highest vibration of the lesson here? If we can even get a few of us thinking at that scale, at that level, do you know the magic that can come out of life? You know the ripple effect that could create for other people? And I'm sorry if this podcast episode is much different than what I've posted in the past. And I hope it doesn't come across as self-righteous, because the things I'm talking about are from spirit. I'm not there. I don't have the answer. They're getting me to think bigger picture on a lot of things myself. I've never been too much of a conspiracy theorist, but I'm starting to see the system fail us in a lot of ways. And it's only failing us because we've let it and we haven't asked the questions. So the tone of it, hopefully you kind of understand where I'm coming from. I'm really just trying to do my best at expressing what I've received these past few days as I've deepened my meditation practice, as I've deepened my spiritual practice, as I've deepened my connection with myself and my family and my soul and my spirit. These are just the things that keep coming up. And I just trust and I know that things like this don't happen to us as a collective for nothing. It's not pointless. We look at the history of society, we look at, Holocaust, we look at all the tragedy that we've gone through, even in the past 200-300 years. And we could see the lessons in hindsight. So why do we have to wait to hindsight? Why can't we start thinking like this while we're in it? And not only start thinking about it, but start spreading some messages around it, right? Like, what if this is the time to get real creative on making big changes for Mother Earth, right? We're sitting at home now. We have time in these four walls. It's going to take us some time to learn to slow down. It is, because we've been so busy for so long and we've been avoiding so much for so long. And now we've been confined to our space. We're not able to spend money like we did so frivolously and as a way to feel fulfilled, if even for a second. We're not going to have those instant gratifications anymore. We're going to be forced to slow down, tune into our body, tune into our energy, look at the bigger picture. And from that, I believe will come a lot of creativity, a lot of solutions, and a lot of passion. So I just kind of want to leave you with some things that you can do to pivot, because pivot's a big word, and I've heard a lot of different teachers say that word this past week. But we need a big pivot. If you're scared, feel scared, but just for so long. And then you ask, is it helpful being this scared? Is it helpful thinking about all the bad things that could happen out of this situation? Or is there an opportunity for me to pivot, see this from a higher perspective, and see what I can do to help? So when in doubt, go into service. It's the antidote to fear. Deepen or start your meditation practice. Slow your nervous system, calm. You'll hear the whispers then. Show up as a leader for your family. Show up as a leader on your networks. In whatever way feels authentic to you. Don't lose connection. Connect with your families. Don't spend all your time on the phone. Don't spend all your time on TV. Take this as a gifted moment in time, a gifted opportunity to truly connect with those that you chose to spend your life with. And just start asking some big questions. Anytime you dip into fear, though, I want you to throw yourself into service, okay? And yeah, I just feel, again, Spirit has shown me just the highest vibration of all of this going on. And I feel good about it, guys. I do. I have to say that I feel good about it. So on a personal front, how this has affected me, not for 1 second have I regretted leaving my corporate career. I know in my corporate career I'd be getting paid for not working or whatever. No, not even for a second, because the flexibility I have to be with my kids and truly be with them, because I've focused so much in the past month and a half to create myself a life that's open and flexible from being an entrepreneur, and only not over scheduling and not overworking, because that's where I came from. I truly created a life where I'm only working 2 to 3 hours a day, 2 to 3 days a week. So for me to make changes in my life to accommodate the situation was quite easy. And that's you can't put a price on that. You can't. I was very blessed. I was a bit scared last night because I had most of my clients are online. Almost all my clients are in the States and in the UK, and even a couple in Australia and across Canada as well. But I do have some local clients. And so I had to email all my local clients yesterday, which I think there's 13 in the next 4 weeks. And I had to say, I'm not taking clients in person right now, and I'm moving everything to online. So if you're willing to move online, great, or we can reschedule when this is all done, or I can give you a full refund. And I was in scarcity for about a millisecond, looking at how much that refund would equal to. And I didn't care. I knew it was the right thing. I just said, Spirit, I'm listening to my soul. I can't risk, I can't risk it for my family. I love my family. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing all this. That's my breathing. That's my reason for breathing, is my family. So forget the money, forget the scarcity. Well, guess what? Nobody asked for a refund. Not even a single person. The people who were willing to go online did, and the people who just wanted to reschedule happily did and understood. So don't beat yourself up if you do slip into scarcity or fear. It's okay. It's human. This is what we're here for. But pick yourself up. That's the real gift. That's the spirituality behind this all, is that we can pick ourselves up and continue on. So I've been trying to show up on Instagram every day to just kind of be a calming force and really kind of give people what Spirit's impressing upon me, and I'll continue to do that. Of course, life's going to be a little bit different because I will have my kids at home all the time. And so I'm very fortunate that I bought a house 2 years ago that my parents can move into. And so they are helping me out so I can continue to do my readings, continue to do my mentorship. So again, very blessed in this situation. But I will be continuing to show up and gifting you things on my newsletter this week. I gifted you guys meditation to access the angelic realms because angels have been all around throughout this experience. I kid you not. I also will be promoting more and doing more of my video readings. I don't advertise it very much, but I do 20 to 30 minute inspired card readings for people who order them online. So it's a video that I send you. You can ask a question and I'll give you Spirit's inspiration. I'll use cards. But Spirit has really encouraged me to pick this up, but to pick this up in a way that brings hope and a message of upliftment. So those are on my website for $99 right now. It's about a 1 to 4 day turnaround because there is a higher volume for these right now. But I'm offering that. There's still readings available. There's still mentorship available on my calendar. Readings for April. I think there's a couple spots left for March right now for mentorship and intuitive coaching. Again, if you have a business right now, I'm getting into business mentoring just because my clients have been asking for it. So you want to get creative. You have a business, but you're a little bit stuck and you're a little bit, I don't know what to do with this now, given the current situation. I offer one-on-one sessions for that. Let's hash this out together. Let's come up with some good ideas. I have my moon bundle. I have my 7-day intuitive workbook, which has gone off really well. The feedback on that one's amazing, and it's just $11 Canadian. So again, this is what I have to offer the world to keep the vibes high. And I definitely feel that it's needed. And the work continues. There's no lack or scarcity in my mindset. And I ask all you light workers out there to view it the same. You have a message to offer. So show up and continue delivering those messages. And I feel like that's all I kind of wanted to say around this. So catch me on Instagram. I'm at Squamish Medium. Let me know your feedback on this episode. It was definitely a different energy for me, but I felt like it was so much needed just even for me to express it and hopefully for you guys to hear it. And yeah, I'll just see you on the next one.